Welcome to Look Behind the Look, the new podcast that examines iconic looks in film, television, music, and fashion history. I'm your host, Tiffany Bartok. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Look Behind the Look. I'm so happy to be presenting this episode because I barely survived this week. I don't know about you, but everything happened at once this week. I feel like every TV show has come back, every movie is out in the theater that I want to see. Every event is now in real life, and that's Broadway is back. Every single thing is happening all at once. I am thrilled about it. Believe me, I'm totally excited, but I'm a little bit like I just am completely fried. I had a huge party on Monday night. Troy Sirotte throws this amazing Met Gala gathering of all the most amazing makeup artists in the world, and they all come together, for the Met Gala, and he hosts this beautiful event where we all get to see each other, and it was amazing to see everybody there. It was really funny because we had seen, Kim's look, and Mario was there, and he's like, I gotta go do touch-ups, and what touch-ups? Because Kim was wearing the mask, which I thought was amazing, actually. But I really liked that look. That was one look that I really liked, and I also like Lil Nas X's amazing getup. It's a getup. It's a getup. It's an outfit. It's a costume. It's a creation. It's a piece of art. At the end of the day, it's a getup. It was Michael Schmidt and Jeremy Scott's collab, and there were just so many beautiful looks and some not so great, and I would love to hear what you think of all of them, of course. Let me know. It was also the beginning and maybe the end. I don't even understand how Fashion Week worked this year. I think we need to work on that a little bit, guys. I was totally lost. I didn't understand. I mean, I saw that there were shows happening. I didn't understand where they were, like what was going on. Totally confused, totally lost on Fashion Week. Didn't get it. And then there were the awards, which were in my neighborhood. Some things about the MTV Music Awards were amazing, some not amazing at all. I didn't have a lot of favorites on the red carpet of that one. But that being said, a lot of people are back to work in a big way, and that is super, super, super exciting. And it also makes for a very busy week. Also did some interviews that I can't wait to show you, and they're about some of your favorite shows that you're probably watching, and the behind the scenes for how those looks come together. Only Murders in the Building, and we talked about The Politician. So if you watch those, and even if you don't, I'll be excited to share those talks with you. This week I'm talking to Troy Jensen, which was amazing because I've known of Troy forever. He's been in the industry forever, and about 30 years, and he looks like he's 20 years old, so I don't know if he went back in time or something to begin. Little Benjamin Button situation going on there. He has baby face and has been in the industry forever. So we talked about a lot of fun looks like Stacey Q music videos. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to spend their time revisiting the Stacey Q music video 2 parts? We do that. In my trailer for Look Behind the Look is the Swan look from the red carpet from the Oscars for Bjork. That's Troy's makeup. So it was in the trailer because it's an iconic look that will never be forgotten and is fashion history. And Troy saw the clip and he was like, hey, that's my makeup. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Please come on the show. Let's talk about this look. And the story behind it is pretty wild and a really, 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 really great lesson for creatives in the industry. It's not a pretty story, and it's super interesting, and I was so happy that he shared it with me and you, because I think that sharing stories that aren't so perfect is really important in this industry. We're all human out there. So I was really glad he shared this story. And he talks about a couple of shoots that he just recently did with Carcelle from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Heather McDonald, who of course you all know. And of course, no trip down memory lane is complete without a little visit to Farrah Fawcett and what Farrah means to Troy. So take a listen, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, Troy.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
I am so great now that you're here. This has been I feel like I've always heard your name, known of you in circles. I
I've been
cannot believe
around
this is the first time.
35 years. Can you believe it?
It's amazing.
35
It's
years. So we
amazing.
got we got a lot of look behind the look to discuss.
Yes, yes, I'm so
And you
thrilled.
have to excuse you'll hear a little creature
He's so cute.
walking around the
Hi.
room. I have to he has to be with me. He's kind of obsessed. So I'm just gonna let him run around, but he might.
I have the same type of doggy
Oh, you
situation.
have a Frenchie? Oh,
No, but
right,
that it's
yeah,
Bear. He's a
right.
Australian mini shepherd, and he has to be, paid attention to at all times.
And
And
he's like my kid. He's not even like a dog. He made me a morning person. I was never a morning person.
you weren't.
I got him. Well, I always dreaded getting up. Now I don't dread getting up. I get up at the crack of dawn and I'm ready to go. He's a
Aw.
morning person.
How long has he been with you?
A year.
A
We had
year.
right out of his mother. So yeah.
That's special. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll send you pictures. He was like literally that big. He was so
oh
tiny.
yes, please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Anyway, let's talk
Yes.
makeup.
Yes,
Whatever.
I was noticing what was behind you
Yeah.
before I was recording, and so let me just ask you about that because those are beautiful.
Those are portraits I did of actress Haley Bennett. And she's
Beautiful.
been in a lot of films, and I met her through a hairdresser, and we got together and just had some fun. I did sort of a Marilyn Monroe homage photo shoot inspired type of day. It was great.
Amazing. What do you think makes, when people do the Marilyn influenced looks, what do you think is the key that ties it to Marilyn?
Not to finish it too much.
That's very interesting.
If you really look at Marilyn makeup, it wasn't everything wasn't too finished. There was something a little bit kind of, like rolled in the back seat about her. You know what I mean?
You're
Not
right.
too, now when you see Marilyn makeup, it's almost too perfect, which I think makes it look kind of costumey. So with this shoot, it was really about what I didn't put on the face and just kind of let Haley just sort of exude that spirit.
Yes.
And I really love that shoot though.
Oh, it's beautiful. I the look that drew us together for this episode was the Bjork look, with the swan, and I
That was cool to see it flash in your little.
I know. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that was Troy." I was so thrilled that it all came together because that's one of my very favorite moments. And can you tell me a little bit about how that came to be?
Yeah, she was a client of mine. I worked with her. When you're a makeup artist at sort of the caliber I was at the time, you work sort of in little phases with actresses or pop stars. And with pop stars or singers like Bjork, you'll come in at a certain time of their, like an album, and you'll do everything with them, which is so great about working with music artists, because you'll do the video, you'll do the album cover, you'll do all their press. And for this case, I did her for the Academy Awards. She was nominated for Best Song. And she, looking back at that time, it's one of those kind of like, I'm really grateful and really proud of the diversity of my career and the people I worked with and continue to work with. But that day was, that experience of the Oscar is a little sort of bittersweet. It's a great because she looked beautiful and it's iconic and people still talk about it, and still it's still newsworthy today. But the experience of it was a lesson for sure.
How is that?
Well, it was, a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, when I first met with her about the dress, she had these two big boxes and she says, I want you to see the dress. And she brought out these two big boxes and she pulled out the big swan. And I didn't really understand that it was something she was going to get into at first. She was going to maybe hold it or whatever, And then she brought out a white swan and she brought out a black swan. I said, well, I think you should do the white swan. And then she just I sent her to someone who makes clothes for like hookers and not hookers, but strippers and stuff, like those bodysuits, the nude bodysuits and stuff. And she went to Hollywood Boulevard and got this bodysuit made. And I felt like when I saw it afterwards, I felt like they could have made it a little bit tighter on her. But where the bittersweet came from is that for her touch up, Mac sent me some amazing products, some palettes and some compacts and stuff. And I sent it to a jewelry designer. I won't mention the name. I am tempted because I was so pissed even to this day. And I had her bejewel it.
Okay.
Lipstick and the compact. And I said, this is a surprise that I'm going to give to Bjork on the day of the Oscars as her touch up to go in her purse, And she made a double, shot pictures of it, and sent it to all the magazine outlets. So Bjork is on the plane and she's reading magazines. Troy Jensen, celebrity makeup artist, it made this thing for Bjork, and Bjork was so turned off by it, and I was mortified by it. And so it was a lesson of just, we all want to get credit and we all want to show appreciation, especially to brands, because they're so generous with people like myself. But I thought it was really uncool, and it put me in a really negative light with this client, and I never worked with her again.
Troy.
And she definitely brought it up to me. She's like, I thought you were an artist of integrity.
Troy. I'm shocked and so great. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah. So, especially now with social media, I'm very, very, very cautious about what is sent to me and what is expected. And, I try to be very, very cautious and mindful, especially if there's a celebrity or someone in the public eye involved. But yeah, that was a tough lesson.
Did you tell the jeweler? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And you, of course, expressed that this wasn't your intention, but yeah.
Of course.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But
it's a lesson. And I still look back and I'm still really excited. When that came out, she was on the every worst dress list.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And then the press went after the hairdresser, which is like her hair looked great, and so it wasn't outrageous, her hair, and neither her makeup. She actually wanted me to do something outrageous with her makeup. She wanted me to paint her forehead white, and I actually talked her out of it. She, I thought she looked beautiful. She had a classic little wingtip eye and matte red lip and just beautiful complexion. I love your little star mirror in the back. I need to get one of those. I need one in my room here.
Okay.
This is my office / all of my products are in the back. I don't know if you can see the Zuka bags.
I 100% can.
My little B&B sign.
I want to ask you how you organize your Zukas. What is in all of your Zukas?
And from this way, it's face products, like liquid foundations, face products, powders, eyeshadows, lips on that way.
Okay.
You haven't seen the rest of the room. I have boxes that I haven't even packed. Yeah.
And then you have some books. Yes. No, I love it all. And I love the Bowflex. I mean, come on.
And the Bowflex, which I ordered over the pandemic, over the quarantine, and I've never even used it. I've used it maybe twice.
How did you keep busy during the pandemic? Did you go crazy?
My dogs.
Yeah.
My dogs. I have 3 French bulldogs, and it's like I say, I have 3 only children. They're so extra. They're so needy. And I have a little male. His name's Mads. I named him after my favorite actor, Mads Mikkelsen. He's Danish like myself. And he has this really fiery personality. And I haven't had him fixed because I'm thinking of breeding him with my female.
Okay.
In October. We're not sure yet, but I'm thinking about it. And then I have another male, and he's 13, and he goes when he's feeling kind of like a little like I'm a badass, I'm going to kick some butt. He goes for my male, and he's the one that gets hurt every time because my male is just like,
Yeah.
So I have to separate them sometimes, which is kind of tough. So it's like if I'm in here working, the others who are in the other room or my bedroom with the gate up crying. And then I have to go in there and hang out with them for a little bit. And then Mads is crying. So that was my quarantine, basically. Juggling them.
Oh my goodness. And now it's back to work.
And now it's back to work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, wait, where are you going?
I feel like I kind of got a slow transition back into work. I started getting creative again. It's really weird because a lot of people in the industry are starting to post like some throwback pictures. Kim Kardashian posted a throwback.
I saw that.
Commented on my picture, which was, thank you, Kim. That was amazing. And so I'm starting to get booked, got a booking today.
Yes.
So I am ready to go.
So tell me about your time with Kim. How did you find yourself there? And you took that picture, is right?
I took that picture.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That was a really funny day because it was we were in Mexico and we were shooting her calendar, and her stylist, Monica Rose, who's amazing, came up with these shorts, and they were really cute little shorts, and they kind of rolled up and cut. And I was like, no, give me those scissors. And I did one. I said, I want them literally like a bikini, like really, really, really almost falling off of her. So she hacked those shorts so short, and they looked amazing on her. I mean, by the end of it, they were barely on her. It was sort of, but it worked out. It was cool. I started, I left home at 15 years old. I was a portrait painter and I wanted to be a musician. And to make money, I would set up my easel in LA because I hitchhiked from Orange County to LA when I was 15, left home. Had a family who was not cool with me being gay. Mm-hmm. And it was, sink or swim. And I decided to swim. And I never went back. And so I would set up my easel and I would draw people's portraits. But instead of doing like caricatures and stuff, I would make the subject really glamorous. Whether really, hair blowing and smoky eyes.
Yes.
And I met Farrah Fawcett, who was a very good friend of mine until she passed away.
Wow.
And I still think about her, still miss her to this day. And she was a really amazing person and gave me a lot of support and encouragement through the years. And whenever I did a cover or something, she'd call me and like, I saw your cover. I'm so proud of you. I remember when you were just, a little street kid, and now look at you. I'm so proud of you. And, she was a really special lady in my life.
Did you work with her? I saw a picture of you both together.
Yeah. Yes. I worked with her. I was more social with her.
Uh-huh.
I used to go and hang out with her at her apartment, and she would make us grilled cheese, and we'd talk stories. And, of course I was a huge Charlie's Angel fan.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of hers because when I met her, actually it's weird because I originally met her on the phone, which is kind of crazy because my mother was a retired police officer, and she had a business hiring other retired police officers to do executive protection bodyguard work with celebrities. And one of her clients was Farrah. And so I got her name out of my mom's Rolodex, and I cold called her one day, and we talked for about 10 minutes. She's like, okay, got to go now. I'm like, great, bye. And then when I met her, I wasn't starstruck or anything. And she saw my pictures, and I'll never forget her expression when she held up this picture. Again, I did it from memory, this plunging neckline dress with hair kind of like curls and smoky cat eyes. And she's like, you would be an amazing makeup artist. And I said, oh, I can do makeup. No problem. I'm amazing. And she goes, okay, I'm doing a photo shoot next week for this charity. You come do my makeup. I said, okay, cool. No problem. So I borrowed literally, and I've talked about this before many times, had a Revlon contract, which in the bag that I brought, this little sack of makeup that I borrowed from some drag queen friend of mine or whatever, filled with a Revlon makeup. And the photographer, I remember, got on the phone with another client saying, I just worked with this kid from Orange County who's brilliant. And that's it. I started doing, I never had a real job. I never worked in a salon, never worked
really?
Never did anything other than what I'm doing now. Never assisted anyone. I just was kind of like, I remember, in the 80s working with the Cloutier crew.
Oh, okay.
Savics and, on those type of artists.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I used to ask them, how much are you getting paid for this? And they would say, we're getting $2,000. I'm like, I'm getting $2,000 too. I'm like, I'm getting $2,000 too. So,
Done.
you know, yeah. I just assume the role. I'm here. I'm in a space. I'm invited to the party. I deserve to be paid, favored nations, as they call it.
Right. I mean, is that your advice? Just show up to the party and know that you deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I later in my career, agency was like, don't talk rates because you're getting more or something.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah.
But I also have been screwed over by many of my agents where I found that, I did a video one time with an artist, and the A&R person, or the person in the video department at the record label, said, I wish we could hire you again for this thing coming up. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're paying me $800 for a 15-hour day. Like, what do you want? It's like, oh no, we're paying you $5,000. I was like, yeah.
Oh, and you had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's happened to me a couple of times with agents. And that's why I'm a little, I try to go back to an agent. I have my best friend, Jarek, is my manager of production. Mm-hmm. We have other business together. We have some product lines together. I trust him with my life.
Right.
And
are those your favorite shoots when you're the photographer and the makeup artist? Yeah.
Well, I started my career being a micromanager. I just had it in. I used to show up with books and tear sheets and say, we should do this. And people just then expected that of me, and, nowadays I wouldn't dream of imposing too much of myself like I did back then. I would never in a million years. Now I'm much more respectful. Like, okay, what do you want to look like today? Or what are we doing today? And blah, blah, blah. Before it was like, this is what we should do. Nope, that's tired. We're not doing that.
Right. But that's good, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. People.
Well, I think it's important if you're like myself, if you're a one-stop shop. Yeah. But if you have to work with others,
right.
You have to be a team player, and you may not like what the hairdresser does. You may not like the clothes, but instead of doing your own thing, you've got to really find a way to tie yourself in.
Right.
What that look is, or what the lighting is, or what that photographer style is, or,
Right. Did you do a lot of music? You did a lot of music videos.
A lot of music videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the first things I ever did was music videos. In the 80s, I'm actually in the video. You'll have to check it out on
Which
YouTube.
one?
It's Stacy Q, Two of Hearts.
Stop it.
Yeah. Don't blink. It's like right in the beginning.
Okay. I'll watch it like this.
1985 or 86. And,
I love that song.
Yeah. But so, I love music. I love working with musicians. Music videos are really tough. They're really long hours.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so when you're on a music video set, did you feel constrained at all because you sort of did see it as a whole? You saw yourself as sort of a creative director, and I wondered if you felt like, I'm dying to say this thing on the music video because they're very,
Yeah. A lot of times when you get a music video, there's the star, and then there's either a model or dancers, whatever. Right. And then they'll try to be like, don't worry, you only have to do me. It's like a wedding. You only have to do the bride. But with me, I'd rather, I'm going to be here. Like when I did the Pussycat Dolls, I did Nicole, not all the dolls, but the Pussycat Dolls. Those were 24-hour shoots.
Oh my God.
Those are 24-hour shoots on set. So, it's tough when you're working with just one person, because you get really tired, you get really lethargic, so I want to keep going. So you know what? I don't mind doing the backup dancers or the model or whatever, because while the celebrity or the star is like napping or chilling, I'm working. I want to keep busy. It's the only way I could kind of, keep that momentum,
Right. But did you do I feel like music video era is when everybody got the most burnout. Would you agree? Because it was like, then this artist wants you and this artist wants you. And pretty soon you're doing them a month.
Yeah. And I love that too, by the way, because now, each celebrity has their set team and they only work with that team. Once in a while, you'll see someone else step in. But back then I loved that diversity. One week I would be working with, Diana Ross. One week I'd be working with Bjork. One week I would be working with Salma Hayek. One week I'd be doing Gwyneth. And I loved mixing it up. I didn't want to be just one person's makeup artist. I wanted to I love that diversity. you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, in the 90s, in the beginning 90s, I would show up to shoots and people like, oh, you're a white guy, you know, because I did En Vogue, Vanessa Williams, Janet Jackson, Mary J. I did so many African-American artists, and I was very influential in the actual makeup of them because I changed a lot of the trend of Black artists. You know, in the 80s, it was that Rhythm Nation kind of look, like block eyebrows, matte, not their color skin, brick, fuchsia, red lips. And I was doing like, you know, glowy, greasy, gluey skin, nude lips, smudgy eyes, you know, those kind of things were not done on Black artists back then. You know, I was doing, if you look at like the album cover by Vanessa Williams, The Comfort Zone.
Yes.
And for inspiration, I brought pictures of Ursula Andress, the iconic ones of the Bond movie, Dr. No, where she's coming out of the water with the, you know, the one piece and the knife strapped to her leg. That's what inspired that look. You know, and at that time, I remember some of my Black artists saying, you're going to put nude lips, I'm going to look dead, you know? And I'm like,
trust me.
Now it's like, you know, it's such a thing, you know? And also too, I used to mix my own foundations because they didn't have a lot of variety of, you know, of products for African or dark skin, you know, I had to mix it myself.
What was your favorite videos that you worked on?
What was my favorite video? You know, Vanessa Williams just did a throwback, which it's kind of on my mind. It's called Running Back to You.
Okay.
It was actually a reshoot. We did one video and something happened where we had to reshoot it. And we literally shot it in a matter of hours because she was leaving on vacation and had to get a flight. And so we literally, it was like that running back to the thing next, like literally that's how the day went. And it was literally like, I want to say like a 9 to 5, which is unheard of for music videos.
Right.
And she was out of there. And so I look at it and I look at the makeup, and I mean, she had this like very fluorescent, frosty eyeshadow, and I remember literally just throwing things on her, you know, piling, you know, to change up the look. I'll put some frost over it and I'll put this over it, you know. And I look at it, I was laughing, going, yeah.
I remember that
I went
day.
there. I did that.
That's fantastic. I saw recently that you.
It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful, but it was just, I just laugh at it because I remember the process of it, you know.
I mean, all that mad rush and so it was a quick shoot in it on the whole, right? So you probably like when you watched it, you were like, how did we do this?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
And the Pussycat Dolls shoots were fun, long, but they were really fun. I really loved, you know, working with Nicole. I used to do her face choreography. You know, like she would do her choreography, and then when they would do the close-ups, she would go, Troy, come in, and be like, you know, and I would kind of like she would mimic what I do off camera, you know. It was fun.
You were doing it on the other side of the camera, and then she was mirroring you. That's really cute.
Yeah, it was fun.
Aw, that's really cute. I saw recently that you did an amazing shoot. I didn't know if you shot it, but it was a funny person. It's Heather McDonald.
Heather McDonald, yes.
Who, of course, that's where I get all my news is from Heather.
A lot of the pictures I'm letting that be her shoot because I did the shoot for promos for her. And so I'm kind of waiting for her to kind of post it. There's some looks that are just so amazing and fun and very very mod and I had a lot of fun with her. She's been
what was it for exactly?
For her promos for her shows.
Okay.
Got promos for her. She's on tour right now.
Right.
And you know, she's been someone that I used to see with my friends, you know, at their barbecues in Westlake and Calabasas. And I was during the quarantine, I was on her page every day laughing, like she kept me laughing. And so when we started chatting again, and I said, when are we doing our shoot? Come on. like, she goes, Troy, I need you to do that shoot. I need new pictures, promos and stuff. Let's
Aw.
do it. So we did it. We finally scheduled and did it. And she was one of the first people I started work with getting back to work and kind of getting me up and running again. But she's amazing and so funny. You know, I did an amazing shoot with Carcelle. We did her
I
like
saw that.
Diana Ross, which was so fun.
Beautiful.
And she was
She is
really good friends of
beautiful.
my sisters and for many years. So we you know, I bump into her through the years and finally we got together and did something fun. But that, you know, I love to do that, you know. And
And I feel like Heather looked like what the housewives think they look like. Like when you did in that little sneak peek that you had. And I can't wait to see the rest of the photos.
Yeah.
What are you finding that you're doing now? Are you taking more photographs? Are you trying to blend them both together or
you know, I took a step back from the industry and agents and all that stuff for a while.
what preceded that?
Well, I mean, I just felt it was kind of time. There wasn't the bookings that I were doing. I mean, when I was doing red carpets in my heyday, I was getting 35 to $5,000 for red carpets. Now you're lucky if you get 500, you know, or 250. Yep. So it's, unless got a really big star and you've got a beauty brand behind you and all that stuff. I'm trying to think of a way. I miss being an artist. I don't miss all that other stuff. You know, the past is the past. I did that. I can think of all these amazing things I did. I did it. It's done. But I'm still an artist and I still want to work, you know? So, you know, the makeup artists that I gravitate towards are not ones that are Instagram famous. I follow Sandy Linter, who was, you know, iconic in the 70s. You know, back then there was 5 makeup artists. She was one of them. And did tons of covers and worked with Gia and all those amazing photographers and stuff. I just love to watch her. There's this guy named Raul Alejandre whose work just got signed with Valentino Beauty, a really young kid. I think he's Latin, but he does some really interesting things. But it kind of plays along to almost sort of like fantasy type of makeup, you know, like flame liners and stuff like that on the eye. That was never kind of my thing. I never got into fantasy makeup. I just love beauty and I love, if anything, I have to say I love old Hollywood. It's probably the thing, you know.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, you know, where, you know, pop stars like Lady Gaga have, you know, brought in like the sort of like glam rock and futuristic ideas for makeup and glam, and her makeup artist Sarah, who's amazing. I think what I do and the way I think is Hollywood. You know, I think, you know, old Hollywood. I think of, you know, have you heard she's a kind of an influencer. Her name is Susan Yara. And she has this a YouTube called Mixed Makeup. I transformed her into Merle Oberon, and a lot of people don't even know who Merle Oberon is, you know. And so I really enjoy giving a little sort of history with these looks, and I'll adapt sort of like techniques and shapes and application techniques of the way I do when I'm creating something. I just did a model by the name of Wendy Both as Ava Gardner.
Oh, I saw that. I loved it.
Yeah. And so I really enjoyed that. That's what I feel I do. That's my strength, I think. And how I see women. I see women in a category in my mind of iconic beauties. And you know,
so perhaps you'll make a book for us all to enjoy. I feel like,
you know, I've been asked to do books. I don't know. I feel like there's so many books out there.
And but they could always have more.
You know, I don't know. I'd rather have my own life story in a film on the big screen. You know?
Yes, that would be glorious.
Here's about a book.
Yes. What would be the most important aspect that you would want to reach people with of that life story?
Probably that I'm a survivor, you know, of where I've been and where I've been and where I've been and where I've been and where I've been, you know, that's, you know, it's that mindset of, you know, of when you should when everyone else is telling you you're done and not relevant and blah, blah, blah. And I say to myself, what if you did this? And what if, would it make you happy? Because if it's not going to make you happy, then who cares what people think or don't think, or if they like it or if they don't like it,
Yeah. So do you feel that you've gotten those messages before? And what kept you going through that?
My art. Mm-hmm. And that I also, especially now, I self-care is very, very important to an artist, that you give yourself a chance to, it's not about what should I post? What should I post? What should I post? It's more about what should I create? Whether you post it or not, what should I create today? And sometimes it's something I don't even post. It's just something I do for myself, Which I even said, like if we get shut down again, I mean, there's those makeup artists who start beating their own faces, maybe I'll do that. Everybody goes, have a very pretty face.
Very pretty. Yes. I know.
Art is it has to.
It's a very results-oriented industry, of course. And so I do feel that like people are saying just what you said, what should I post, instead of like, oh, wow, I'm looking at this thing I just created and sure, I'll post it.
Jarek and I, we have a couple of companies on the side that have nothing to do with makeup. We started a jewelry line with Jordan Sparks, a fine jewelry line with Jordan Sparks, and a pet brand with Joanna Krupa called Krupas. And we got into distribution and product development and whatever. And that I really loved. I would do the creative. He does the business. Jarek does the business.
That's so cool. I think Joanna's gorgeous.
She's a doll.
Oh my God.
What's great about her is that, we do a lot. We do a lot of activism with like pets and, the Pug Queen and other bulldog, Frenchie charities and whatnot. And we have friends who do shelter, go to shelters and we'll try to find these dogs who are on kill, they're going to get killed the next day. Mm-hmm. And they'll send us a picture. I'm like, well, I'll post it on my page, which doesn't really do anything, but we send it to Joanna and immediately she posts it on her page and the dog gets adopted.
Oh, wow.
She's amazing. She's like an angel, I love her so much.
And she's in Miami, right?
No, she's here. She's here.
She is?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was in Miami. She was on Miami. She's not a housewife anymore, but we've worked together before. I've shot her for skincare and all kinds of stuff, Yeah. She's cool. We love her.
And your other business is with Jordan Sparks, and it's
Jordan
jewelry.
Sparks, yeah.
That's amazing.
Fine jewelry, yeah.
How did that come to be?
My business partner, basically the money person, we put together a company and basically curating brands, whether it was beauty, jewelry, fashion, apparel, all kinds of products with celebrities.
Okay, amazing.
And we've done some influencers too, but mostly celebrities. So Jordan being a client of mine, I approached her and said, would you want to have your own jewelry line? And so we put it together and, she curated some amazing pieces and yeah.
Oh, I got to check that out because that sounds good. Yes.
Really beautiful.
Thank you so much, Troy. I mean, I'm
a fan, and that's why we started talking. I'm a fan of yours.
I am a fan of yours.
I'm watching you.
Yay! Thank you. And I you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, Troy. Mwah.
Hope you enjoyed the episode, you guys, and thanks so much for listening, as always, following, sharing, and talking and engaging and all of the things. Next week, we are talking to Liliana Maggio, and we were brought together to talk about The Politician. We talk about so much more, of course. She's working on absolutely everything all at the same time, and she dialed in straight from Steiner Studios. So we had a great conversation. I can't wait to share it with you, and I can't wait to see you next week. Take care. Look Behind the Look is a Vinyl Foot production, written by me, your host, Tiffany Bartok, produced by Jace Bartok, edited by Nicole Tucker, with art design by Kelly Riley. If you're interested in learning more, find our video version on the YouTube channel Look Behind the Look podcast. There you can see rare photos and clips from our guests. And please follow us on Twitter at LookBehindPod and Instagram at LookBehindTheLook. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe. And tell your friends and spread the word. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or any podcatcher of your choice. Thanks for listening to Look Behind the Look.